Creation, Book of Clarity, Chapter 7. She thought about who she wanted to be, what she wanted to be. It would be her first time experiencing herself as a living being while she was a planet at the same time. She thought about the human forms on Earth, how they were able to explore, fly, and adventure over all parts of the planet. They rarely appreciated it, if ever. So she wanted her experience to be one that transcended humanism. At first, she wanted to be wind itself. She figured a non-human form would be the best vehicle to explore the echo in its entirety. But then, she decided she wanted the ability to phase in and out of solidity by mere thought. The idea of flying through the skies as wind only to dive deep into the crystalline bay as a flow-tail creature was enticing. She imagined all the different shapes and forms she could become. She sent this thought out into the echo, and it returned immediately, denied. Confused, she sent the thought back out. Again, it returned quickly, denied. She queried further in search of the reason for the denial, and the previous ruling on vegetation was returned as an answer. The vegetation on the planet would receive free will, but any organism outside of vegetation would not. Of course! She had gotten ahead of herself. She had forgotten so quickly the law that was just established. No entity outside of vegetation would be given free will. By default, this ruling also allowed the vegetation to be the predatory species on the planet. This decision was made to balance out the karmic energies that existed between vegetation and those that normally used them for sustenance. Lack of free will also meant that she would not be permitted to shift forms. Instead, she would stick to the same body her entire lifespan with the added possibility of being fed on by the vegetation. She wondered what she should be then. She took her time flipping through her options. Colorful vegetation, mammal-like creature that crawled on all eights, giant insect-like creature that could burrow far underground, gargantuan bird-like creature that could survive on the second sun, moon-sized marine animals that could also survive on land. The list was endless. None of them seemed as appealing as her original plan, though. So she decided on a version of it. She would be Spirit of the Wind. Wind and spirit often existed together as they were opposites of each other, like yin and yang. Wind was the force that carried life, while spirit was the life that existed in all things. That is why the spirit of the crystal, rock, and light also existed. Spirit balanced out the energy of the element it represented. Spirit existed in all things, and all things were made of spirit. Spirit itself lacking free will wasn't unusual, though. She had seen it before in a handful of realities. What was unusual for her was her actively choosing to experience a lack of free will. She had the option to exist as a vegetative organism, but she didn't like the idea of hunting and eating other creatures. Even now on the Echo, witnessing the vegetation stalk and consume its prey was more violent than the program she'd avoid on the Animal Channel back home. If more realities were aware of the carnage that vegetation was capable of, she was sure they'd never experience free will on another planet again. Plus, in her travels, she already had her fair share of hunting down her food, and it always turned her stomach once she returned to Earth. She'd be sick for days. So she figured experiencing life without free will would be better than having to quit when she was so close to the end. She sent out the thought of her incarnating on the surface world as Spirit of the Wind, and this time it traveled slowly around, as if there were a bit of hesitation in accepting the decision. A question was returned to her, echoing out. "Are you sure?" She stopped. This was the first time she was asked this. She rethought her reasoning and decided on the same outcome. Yes, she sent out to the echo. I want this. An answer was returned to her. Then it is permitted. Her energy started to tingle with excitement. She was ready to become a spirit. Hello again, this is Michaela Simone Mack, author of Creation, narrator of the Book of Clarity. Thank you again so much for listening. There will be new episodes every Friday, and if you like reading these chapters, there will be new chapters published every Monday on Kindle Vella. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy. Please like, comment, share, and let me know what you think. Thank you so much. Have a great day. See you next week.